this is another video about blood pressure. A lot of people, and even if you look up stuff online, say that it's all about salt absorption. However, I can show you genetic test results where it says specifically salt would not affect your blood pressure. And I can tell you, even on days where I use 2 packets of electrolytes, my blood pressure doesn't change. So if blood pressure is driven by salt, what's happening with me? And you still need electrolytes. What you don't need is excess sugar and insulin in your blood. And nobody measures fasting insulin. They measure fasting glucose, but fasting insulin and fasting glucose are not the same thing. And the renin-angiotensin system does break down. And then your kidneys don't function right. But when they give you blood pressure medications, they're not fixing the system. They're just suppressing it and hopefully, in their mind, getting water off the kidney. But when they pull water off the kidney, we end up with an electrolyte imbalance. When we end up with an electrolyte imbalance, we end up with cardiac issues, muscle pain issues, nervous system issues, including issues with our brain, so memory and thought. And what I see most commonly with people on blood pressure medications is I'll get a diagnosis of vertigo, only they don't actually have vertigo. They have imbalance and unsteadiness. And part of it is because they can't properly feel their feet. But not only that, their brain can't tell the muscles in their calf and in their foot and in their shin what to do fast enough in order to respond to any kind of external stimulus that would challenge their balance. A curb, rocks, gravel, a marble, a Lego, going from hardwood floor to a carpeted floor without a clear demarcation that they need to take a step. So when we talk about blood pressure, if your doctor's advising that you take a diuretic, I would instead say look up the foods that are diuretics and start eating them every day, because there are natural ones out there and you get vitamins and minerals out of them that could replace the electrolytes that you're going to lose if you take the diuretic. The other thing is, if you overwhelm the kidneys with these medications and the kidneys stop responding, so they just keep giving more and more medication, eventually you wear out the kidney and then the heart goes, because the kidneys determine whether or not the heart gets to keep functioning. So again, I would say, what was the problem? And most of my clients with high blood pressure that are what people would say are healthy, so they exercise on the regular, they lift weights, they eat healthy, they're insulin resistant. And we see it in other things. So we see it in things like they start complaining at the age of 35 to 40 that all of a sudden I need reading glasses. You shouldn't need reading glasses at 35 to 40. They start complaining that they wake up with their hands numb or their feet are cold. And that's not normal. And they start to feel sluggish in the afternoons. And that's an insulin drop and a blood sugar drop. So if you're struggling with high blood pressure, I would highly encourage you to try fasting. If you've never done any kind of fasting, start with 16 hours and only have 2 meals. Don't snack in between, just have 2 meals. Try it for a week. Tell me if your blood pressure doesn't get better. And if you're somebody who is bodybuilding, check your blood pressure. See where it's at. Because an athlete who's in shape should have lower blood pressure. But if the way that you were eating to prepare yourself for your show negatively affected your insulin resistance, your blood pressure will slowly creep up during competition season. And when you go back to normal eating of 2 to 3 meals a day, it'll come back down. So, salt might not be your issue.